The Laughing Buddha in New York City, I should have known. Yes, the Laughing Buddha. Let's give it up for Rob Gerraputa. Rob Gerraputa.
Listen, is anybody as embarrassed as I am to have songs on your iPod by Kelly Clarkson, Carly Rae Jepsen, and the Partridge Family? I live by a massive people, so I'm glad to be here. It's a close ride, but I do work in the city, so I get to do that commute every day. So I get on the train, and usually I get the sniffler. Some guy's been on the third day of the whooping cough. But this one day, I really got a treat, because this woman was on the cell phone talking to her daughter through breakfast for a half an hour. So no nap for me as I got into the city. Then I get to the subway, and I'm waiting for the subway. I'm waiting for the subway. Shh. Listen up. So I'm waiting for the subway, and of course, there's this one guy who has to push his way to the front of the subway car because he has to be the first one on the subway car. So he gets on the subway car, comes in, and what does he do? He gets right in the door and stands there. Then we all got to move around because he wants to be the first one off the subway. So I move into the car, and I'm in the middle of the car. It's like a freaking desert in there. There's nobody around. I'm doing jumping jacks, I'm doing squat thrusts. And I look over, and at the doorway, there's a 4x4 area. There's 40 people in that one area because they all want to be the first one off the subway. It looks like a freaking mosh pit at a Metallica concert. So we get into the station, and I'm going up the stairs, and this ass bag who had to be the first one off, you know where he is? Right in front of me on the steps. That's how far he got ahead of me. So he gets up the steps, and what does he do? He stops at the top like he just fucking ascended Mount Everest. So now we all have to walk around him because he's just standing there observing the view, whatever it be. So I get across to the deli where I like to get breakfast and have a nice buffet there. So I get my own food, I pick up what I want, I put it in the tin, I go up, the girl weighs it, she charges me, and I see there's a tip jar. Now, I'm not against tipping, I don't mind tipping bartender, waiters, waitresses, they do a good job for you. There's a freaking tip jar. Who wants a tip for taking my money? I mean, they're everywhere. So you know what I fucking decided to do? I put a tip jar next to my nightstand so my wife could tip me for sex. So far this year, I've made $1.89 and she has to change back twice. So after that...
Check it out.
Oh. Okay. Alright, so after that adventure, I finally get to make it up to my office. And I can't... You there? Okay. Thank you.
Does anybody know where Anthony is? Anthony! Just talk a little louder, that's all.
Okay. So I finally get up to the office and I can't log on my computer. So I call the tech guy. And I swear to God they make up their own fucking language just for job security. So I called him and he says, oh, you can't log on because the Q drive didn't download properly to the Jackson drive. I said, you know what really happened? I stayed late at work last night and I downloaded porn and now my keyboard's clogged. So then some other geekeroid genius comes in after that and he says, can you do me a favor? He says, can you take this zip drive and download it into a PDF file, then email it to accounting with a read receipt? You know how we did that 30 years ago? Hey, give this to Bob. So that's my day working. Getting home, it's the same nightmare commute home. I get home, I'm happy to see my wife and kids.
That's a good joke.
So I asked my kids, I said, how was school today? What? You talking to me? I mean, how many times, why do people answer a question with a question? I don't understand it. And then I asked my wife, I said, what's for dinner? She said, tonight? I said, no, next fucking Wednesday when I'm going to have a hankering for some fucking meatloaf. So I finally sit down to dinner, I'm watching TV, and a news flash comes on. It says, murder in your town? Stay tuned for the news at 11. Are you fucking kidding me? I spent the next 4 hours hiding in the closet with a butter knife. How about this one? Tainted water in your area? Watch 60 Minutes this Sunday. For the next 5 days, I washed myself with baby wipes and drank wine. I like that one, right? You know what happens. So then I'm finally getting ready for bed, and my wife says, listen, I want to ask you a question. What? Pipe down. I said, I want to ask you a question. So I said, here it is. Now I'm going to get them back. I'm going to answer her question with a question. So she says, you want to have sex tonight? Don't ask me why I grew a set of balls that night or whatever. So I said, with you? Needless to say, the tip jar didn't see any fucking action that night. G. And another time I got myself a bowl of New England clam chowder, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I drove to Boston to get it. There was one time that she actually put on and wore the first outfit that she put on for the night. The only problem was we were 2 days early for the Springsteen concert and they ended up seeing One Direction. But one thing we get to go shopping for cars. Anybody shopping for a car lately? No? Well, let me tell you, there's so many fucking options on these cars. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, there's the heated steering wheel, there's the Bluetooth, there's the rear view camera. I mean, have we gotten so fucking lazy that we can't go like this? Or has it just been a rash of red wagons getting fucking run over that I haven't heard about? So then I said to my wife, I said, maybe we should buy that car where the brakes automatically engage 3 seconds before impact. She said, maybe we shouldn't buy the one that might stop you from engaging 3 seconds before impact. But you know, my favorite option, I think, of all time is cars, is the dual air climate control. You ever hear of that, the dual air climate control? Do you seriously believe that the air stays on your side of the car? Okay. How about this one? How about I blast off a fucking fart and we'll see how long that stays on my side of the car? Then you're going to experience another fucking option, the power window lock. You know, I mean, I talked about my job, and I mean, I like my job, it's okay, but I wish I could, kind of be as happy as these sports athletes nowadays. I mean, all they do is celebrate everything. I mean, I think the worst offenders have to be the football players, right? I mean, every tackle evolves into this huge fucking celebration. I mean, do you ever see the garbage men high-fiving each other after they put your mail into the truck? How about the mailman? You see him doing a backflip after you put your mail into the mailbox? How about a hooker? Did you ever see her give you a slap on the ass after a successful blowjob? Actually, I have seen that, but that cost extra. So, I live on Long Island, I live in Massapequa, South America. I mean, I don't think Long Island will ever be the same after Hurricane Sandy. I mean, I don't think people really knew what an anomaly that storm was. But do you remember days after the storm? I mean, people were crazy with getting gasoline. Does anyone remember that? And I was driving around, and hundreds of cars were lined up at this gas station that wasn't even open. So I stopped and I asked the guy, I said, what are you doing? He says, well, we're waiting, hoping for a tanker to come. I said, really? So I got my ass into Madison Square Garden. I started a ticket line, hoping for Led Zeppelin to reunite. And then I'm driving around, a couple days after the storm, my phone rings, so I pull over to answer it. And I'm talking on the phone, and I look behind me, 17 cars lined up behind me, thinking I had started a line for gas. So you know what I did? Every 2 minutes or so, I pulled up 20 feet just to fuck with them.
Hold the cord so I don't pull the thing out, all right?
Anybody ever see that device, the Hopper? The Hopper? That's the device that records many shows at the same time. So you know what I did? I actually bought the Hopper, and you know what I did? I set it to every fucking news station in hopes that I might find out if there's murderers or tainted water in my area ahead of time. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Rob Gerraputa. Give it up for him. Nice job. Nice job. Woo! I tell you, that's the way it started off.